Everyone assumed she was just the quiet janitor with tired eyes, until the commander saw the mark that only 4 people alive were allowed to wear, and 2 of them were supposed to be dead. The mop water barely rippled when it happened. One moment she was gliding across the sunlit gym floor, the scent of disinfectant rising like a quiet halo around her. And the next, the entire room froze as Commander Hale's gaze locked onto the tattoo on the side of her neck, a faded trident wrapped in a broken ring, a symbol no civilian should ever have, a symbol that haunted him. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. The confrontation hit fast. Within seconds, boots shuffled, conversations died, and the midday light streaming through the tall windows felt suddenly colder. Hale stepped forward with measured footsteps, every soldier in the gym watching the way his expression shifted. Curiosity first, then disbelief, then something close to fear. She straightened, fingers tightened around the mop handle, but she didn't run. Not this time. Her name, or at least the one she used, was Mara. She had taken this cleaning job because it kept her close to the world she had abandoned, because she believed, foolishly, that ghosts couldn't find her in a place filled with sunlight and iron and routine. She thought she'd never see him again. She was wrong. "Where did you get that tattoo?" Hale asked, his voice deep enough to silence the last remaining whispers. Mara felt the old tremor start in her palm. She knew this moment had been chasing her since the day she walked away from her unit, the unit that didn't officially exist, the unit torn apart by a betrayal she had witnessed but never spoken about. Dust floated in the bright air between them, swirling like tiny unsettled truths. The nearby recruits exchanged uneasy glances. Someone murmured that maybe the commander was mistaken. Someone else muttered that the symbol hadn't been seen since the Karen operation, a name most weren't even supposed to know. Mara exhaled, a slow, brittle breath. "I earned it," she said. The room erupted in disbelief. A janitor? Earning that tattoo? Impossible. Hale's jaw clenched. "Then tell me," he said quietly, "why the records list the entire team as deceased?" A ripple of shock passed through the room. Mara's hand trembled, and she placed the mop aside before it could fall. This was the moral line she had hoped never to cross. Silence protected some, revealed others, and she wasn't sure which side deserved the truth anymore. "I survived," she answered softly. "But not by choice." The air shifted instantly, sunlight glaring brighter off the polished floor, a distant piece of equipment clattering as if reacting to the tension. Several soldiers stepped forward, forming a loose perimeter around her, unsure whether to protect her or restrain her. And then the door slammed open. 2 men in black tactical uniforms stormed in. Not Navy, not local law enforcement. Outsiders. The type that moved without hesitation, like their orders were older than the building itself. "There she is," one said. The gym exploded into motion. Recruits scattered, instructors shouted, and Hale's voice boomed across the room as he commanded his men to stand their ground. For a moment sunlight flashed off shields, helmets and the polished steel of training equipment being pulled as improvised barriers. Mara didn't hide, she stepped forward. Steady, determined, the fear in her bones replaced by something fiercer. "They're not here to arrest me," she said to Hale. "They're here to erase what's left." For a heartbeat, Hale hesitated. Then something resolute hardened in his eyes. "Not in my gym," he growled. What followed unfolded like a surge. Soldiers forming lines, boots pounding in unison, an entire community of trainees and veterans standing together beneath the broad daylight, pouring through the windows. The 2 intruders were overwhelmed, disarmed, and hauled back outside as neighbors gathered near the entrance, murmuring in confusion as the tension rippled outward like heat on pavement. When the chaos settled, Mara turned away, expecting to be dismissed, questioned, or maybe even arrested. But Hale stepped in front of her. "You don't have to disappear again," he said. "Not here, not today." And for the first time in years, sunlight felt warm on her face instead of exposing something she needed to hide. Because courage doesn't fade, it waits for the right moment to rise again. And sometimes the truth returns in broad daylight, exactly where it was feared the most. If this story moved you, let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories told with heart, courage, and light.